Okay, welcome to the Grow Pair podcast, episode number 5. And today we have some people that I never ever thought I would be able to get into my studio. But it's the band WONDERboom. Welcome, guys.
Hey,
thank you very much.
Thanks for having us. Cool, man.
That's awesome. You're going to have to talk into that mic a little bit, so give it about an inch.
I'll lean in a little.
No worries, we can adjust it if you want.
It's called mic technique.
Yeah, we keep these two gained down a bit because sometimes you get a bit of noise.
A bit
But
ambient,
yeah, a little bit of ambient, and we try to kill that as much as we can.
Sexy.
There we go. So you guys have released a new album, and you're touring and in Cape Town.
Yes.
That's it.
Fantastic. Tell me about the album. Tell me about what inspired it, and what's the story there.
Well, the album is called Hard Mode. It's a collection of half of the songs were sort of released already as singles, and the other half are what we concentrated on recording towards the end of last year. And they all kind of, I suppose, they've got that golden thread throughout.
Yeah.
Hard Mode is it's a sort of, I see it as a movie in WONDERboom's life, just capturing a certain era. In particular, Matthew Fink is a co-producer, and our first sort of proper record with just music. But Hard Mode in its title has many meanings, but for us it's choosing to live our life, which is a game, of course, in hard mode.
That's fantastic.
Making things difficult for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
The path less traveled.
Absolutely.
Or something to that effect, you know.
Yeah.
We've always we've always just naturally walked our own path in our own lane, sometimes to our own detriment, and a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and that. But yeah, we generally do it in hard mode. Yeah, and a collection of songs and a lot of love and time and thought and recording and going back and forth went into those songs. Definitely.
That's why it's dark.
Besides there's global pandemic in between, that helps a bit of the darkness as well. So yeah, we reached, I suppose, on this album a little bit further into ourselves in terms of it's a little bit more introspective, I suppose, than some of our other stuff, which is quite cool. But yeah, again, we keep moving forward and pushing things forward for ourselves. Yeah, can't make the same album twice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, you can. If you're AC/DC, you can do 25 times.
Fair point. Fair point. You guys have been going for 25, 26 years now?
28.
28 years?
28 years, yeah.
28 years. Okay, your bio on Wikipedia says 25, so we need to update it. It does make a lot. It does make a lot more sense because I've been trying to calculate where I first heard you. You guys, like, I keep 2 lists in my brain of bands. One is sort of the whole world, and the other is South Africa. And you guys have been in my top 10 in South Africa since I was this high, you know.
Thank you.
And I can't remember when I very first either saw you or heard you. I remember Charlie, like, as you know, right in my head, and that's like quite a big moment. And then I remember doing. So I was a sound guy way back in the day, and I worked with a bunch of guys in Pietermaritzburg.
Oh yeah.
And I have vivid memories. Like I was playing through a few of your songs last night, and I could transport myself behind a sound desk, watching you guys on stage.
Wow.
It's.
What was that place in
Buzz Bar.
Buzz Bar.
The Buzz Bar.
Did you ever go to the Buzz Bar?
I didn't go to Buzz Bar. That was a little bit before my time.
Yeah, that place was totally unhinged.
Yeah.
Absolutely unhinged. Way back then, you could do after a certain point in the Buzz Bar, you could do whatever you wanted.
That was all the clubs in Pietermaritzburg. I mean, Pietermaritzburg had, I think, the record for the highest amount of alcohol consumed per capita for a long time.
Wow.
It was, I mean, that was crazy. I mean,
But it was sense.
It was hidden in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, the 90s it
That
was.
makes sense.
But I don't know if you guys ever played the Royal Show or whatnot. But yeah.
Times. Funny enough, we did it year before last.
2 years.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So it must have been like, my memory is a big stage, so it must have been Royal Show or one of those.
Yeah,
like
it was
Fest
the
or
Royal one.
yeah, one of those.
That one. The first time we did the Royal Show back in
That would have been late 90s.
late 90s, early 2000s or whatever, I walked into a glass door at the artist's hospitality area. Somebody had closed it. They had buffet, and I had food on a plate and a drink in the other, and I went right into a glass door, big swollen nose, all the like cool artists like looking at me, laughing at me.
Oh, man.
It was all downhill from there.
I remember a long time ago I did a very small tour with Tree 63, and we went out to like Harry Smith or some Lady Smith in Natal, and Daryl the drummer, we went to like a house that we were hosted at, and after one of the promo shows we walked in and he sat down and leaned back on the chair, managed to put it through a plate glass window, which was like 2-3 meters wide kind of thing. It was just, you talk about glass, I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's
dangerous.
Fun. It's dangerous. Being a musician is a you should have hazard pay or something like that. You guys have been going for so long. So this is actually a question that one of my mates, Ryan, so one of my best mates, he lives in Oz, and he was the first guy I messaged when I got the message saying you guys were going to come, and he was a massive fan, is a massive fan of yours, and the question, actually I wrote it down and I've kept it here. He wants to know like what is the difference, right, music wise, between back then, late 90s, and now?
In all music or South African music?
I would say for you guys. Just for you guys. Are there some major differences? Is it exactly the same?
One of the biggest things, if you're talking recorded music, is production. Just production value. If we're speaking for ourselves or anyone, I think.
Just getting better.
Technology moved on so fast after a certain point in the early 2000s when the end of analog recording, and then it was just...
You could hear a South African recording. There was a period where it hadn't caught up.
The drums and vocals always sucked.
Yeah.
The production on the drums and vocals generally was weak.
I think half of South Africa was recorded on that 8-channel Roland, that job with the CD drive on it.
You can always hear a South African production. Also, back in the day, I don't think the terrestrial radio DJs helped really by after playing a local track going, and that was so and so. Not bad for a local band, eh? Support local, putting that seed of doubt in people's minds.
Yeah.
But I think, in my opinion, production and songwriting. I mean, we've become better at it. Anyway, go on.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
Go for it.
My personal vocal performance and quality and that has improved with the recording.
Yeah.
And I think there was a certain point that I kind of took my vocals seriously and would do warm-ups and that kind of a thing, where prior to that, I would just go in and sing until my voice is gone, and then they just had whatever, and then I had like no real pitch control because I didn't really warm up, and so I think that is definitely like me personally, and I can't speak on behalf of the other band members. Martin has always been a killer guitarist, so his performance has always been fantastic. But yeah, back to the songs. I think our songs, they've had a lot more sort of love with regards to the writing and workshopping with the band and all of that pre-production stuff before we went into studio to record them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was gonna say the love that went in. We used to go in and we used to let everyone else like just make the call. We just acted like especially when we were younger, especially the first album, maybe even the second album, we'd be like, oh, we just the musicians and these are our songs and we play them, and then we just leave and let everyone do like
the producer and the engineer
do their thing. So a lot of other people were kind of calling the shots where we hit a point. I think it was about 2003 when we did Tell Someone Who Cares. Cito had a Fostex 4-track.
Oh.
It was 4-track, eh? And that was our first piece of gear that we had, and suddenly we realized that we had this little control of our stuff, and for the first time we were hearing our songs back before they were recorded. which I know sounds odd.
Now, yeah.
Now.
In the world of click a button,
In the world
record
of
in
click a
full
button,
HD
record
or
in
whatever.
full
Yeah.
HD, like we just didn't have that. So, especially the first couple of albums, we didn't really know how songs sounded,
Yes.
which is crazy before we recorded them.
So
And
would
then-
you
and
get
then-
it on a CD and then hear it for the first or whatever?
Yeah,
Like for the,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
We
pretty much.
never record our rehearsals.
Maybe on a
Just
maybe
you-
on
what
maybe
you
on
heard
a
is-
dodgy
It's
tape
making
recorder.
music in
It's
the
like
hard
just-
mode.
just
in hard mode, yeah.
Projecting
Okay.
or performing as an artist, you're not really listening to it in context, like moving
Yes.
yourself because you're busy performing. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like a weird thing.
Also, you used to
It's
you
quite
used to
primitive.
have to book something that they called studio time,
Yes.
which took something called money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of which you probably didn't have a lot of.
Of course. So like to even get a very basic recording, we
Limited
couldn't
window
afford,
to
we
record.
couldn't afford that, you know. So yeah, we used to go in. So the first
Live.
album we sneaked into downtown at nights, like I think it was 4 or 5 nights or something in total, and we recorded the first album on stolen time.
Yeah.
At Downtown Studios when
Don't tell them.
I think it's too late.
It was
There's
too
a
much
statute of limitations, I'm sure, is passed.
as passed. So that's 5 years, isn't it, Johnny? Do we have such a thing as Johnny? Yeah, so then we just got to a point where we really kind of took control ourselves and started enjoying the production of it much more. Instead of just the writing of the song, we started investing
Yes.
emotionally and mentally in all the other side of it.
Yeah, and also just building up skills. Like by then, I started my own home studio and doing like all kinds of weird audio work.
Yeah.
And because I used to work at Downtown Studios, that was kind of already on the cards, you know. So it was nice. Yeah, I think at a certain phase, the difference between when we started to where we are now, we're a lot more hands-on, a lot more DIY, as I suppose so many artists are.
Yeah.
Because you go with the times, and it's become more possible for us to be more hands-on, and also for the affordability.
Yes.
And we just love the whole process. You know?
For me, I was in the 90s. So I was 12 in the year 2000. So I don't actually.
What year were you? My maths is not working on a Saturday.
So when I played WONDERboom when I was 12, it was very strange.
Jono joined us in 2013.
Oh yeah.
So that was probably like a sort of very advanced period of everything, music industry in general. But yeah, so that's the one question down.
There we go. Oh. Fantastic.
Any more?
You can tell us to take long routes or short routes around questions
You guys have got as much time as you want, so we can go nuts.
We can speak to you all afternoon.
There's-
We're here for a good time.
We
not
do
a
have
long
a
time.
limit.
Well, yeah, you guys. You guys are on the time.
You give me a 5-minute version or like the whole thing. You know?
Why a sentence or a paragraph will do.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So in terms of like writing music and that kind of thing, everybody's got a different style and a way of doing it, and you know, some people are, you know, standing in an elevator and something comes to them and that's it, and they whatever. What is your guys' process? Like, do you guys get together as a band? Do you do it separately? What's the story?
Writing over the years as we've done it, it's first of all, I know if I say for Silo and myself, there's no like, the lyrics are done first and then the music's done, or the music's done, or this. There's no formula for us in terms of how those seeds come around.
Right.
They
My
come around however
dogs
they
tell
come
me
around.
lyrics.
Okay.
They come and they say, wow, that's amazing. I'm joking.
Silo beatboxes most of the demos that he does.
Yeah, I do a nose box thing. My wife laughs at me, like, she says, "You're weird, man." And like, so that's like drums and then and bass lines. I always think in bass lines usually first. Like that's usually, but it could be anything. Sometimes it is lyrically, or sometimes it is. Most of the time, it's musically inspired.
Yeah. So, but it can come from anywhere. So a lot of the time for me, it can be a lyrical idea or concept that triggers something.
Yeah.
I was just having a walk this morning, and someone said, "Jesus, take the wheel," but they were on the phone. So I was like, Jesus, take the phone. And I was like, cool. That gives me enough fucking ammo.
Yes.
That gives me enough ammo. There's enough depth there for me
Yes.
to flesh out an idea.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Nice.
it can come from anywhere. And then, but for me, guitar riffs, like I'm an avid guitarist. I still love playing that instrument.
Yeah.
So if we talk on a personal level, like I love that instrument a lot. It's become a tool for me to write, or a tool for us to write, because Silo's a fantastic guitar player in his own vibe, in his own thing. Like he plays like his mama with like all the Latin
Plays
stuff.
like his mama.
He does.
Play like my
Silo
mama.
plays like his mama. Which is beautiful. It's completely different to how I play. So the writing is also very different to Silo's approach to mine. But because of the love of the guitar, I write. I'm constantly writing, constantly playing.
Yeah.
It's not a thing of like, oh, I have gigs I should play, or oh, I must write, or it just is a thing of mine.
But it takes a lot of. I used to play in a couple of very, very small nothing bands, but even with that, the amount of time that we had a little studio and we had a room twice the size of this, and drum kit that my dad bought, a Pearl drum kit and a bass guitar and a couple of speakers and a few really dodgy Carol microphones, and we were homeschooled, so we played every single day for like 6 hours a day, and it's the amount of time and effort. I don't know if people understand it.
I was just going to say, I think just to write, just to never mind recording, never mind rehearsing, never mind anything, but to get those, first of all, get the seeds for songs is months and months of processes and your personal process, and then engineering those seeds or cultivating those seeds to become something that I can go to Silo and go, here's the idea.
Yes.
Or Silo come to me going, here's the idea. For me, that isn't just a flash in the pan. That's like it's a process. Like you say, it's like hours and months, and that
takes centuries to write. This stage.
And then sometimes it can drop on in 5 minutes. Silo wrote Hell in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
My wife was having a bath.
Ulala was done in
Lyrics
one rehearsal, in one flash, in one demo.
Yeah.
But sometimes
so the shorter we take to write it,
the better it is.
I wish that was the case.
Our recording of Charlie.
Yes.
Was Martin and I were called in to do vocals for Charlie, which we only workshop the lyrics there and then at David Gresham Studios. One page. And then we worked out who's going to alternate, like who's going to take which line or whatever. And as a demo, I think we were recording a demo, we went in, him and I, into the vocal booth at the same time with the sheet of paper.
One microphone.
Did it.
Yeah.
And David Gresham was like, that's it, release it. And we're like,
that's the version you hear.
I really wish we at least had 2 takes.
I
really do.
I know I could have done better.
I know I could have done
You can redo it.
That's
I mean, you can now come back
now,
to Charlie version 2.
Tragedy is that every night he plays, he has to
I
sing.
have to sing that song. There's not a gig that we can't do that song. It'll be forever there to torment me.
Yes.
Then it took 4 hours.
I mean, in one take. And I wish. Anyway, but that's So that's the process. That's part of the process. I mean, where are we now? We have gone to the band yet, or are we still? Like,
no. He was saying about the writing of what takes hours to write.
Yeah. And some songs have been left alone for ages, and they get resurrected, and then
they become alive.
A moment, and they. Sorry, that's an in-joke.
That's
right.
a song on the new album called The Live, which was written on the last album session.
Right. Okay.
So,
Well done, Jonathan.
Anyway, so there we are. Next question.
That's fantastic. So, what is like? So I'm going to keep harping on. You guys have been in the business forever, but and what? I had a great little question here going on. So we do it very conversationally here. We don't cut and change when you bugger it up. Yeah.
Next word?
No, we don't do that. No, we like to shoot the breeze, talk.
Cool.
It's
natural.
Natural. Okay, how's about this?
It's okay, natural for another
Accidental
25 minutes.
reflected society. We've got followers all around the globe.
Your as a well, individually as a group, what is your guys' favorite song?
Of ours?
Of your own, yeah. We'll get to favorite song.
Individually and
Yeah,
as a group.
yeah, individually and as a group. Like which one? What do you enjoy performing the most, or what?
Have you got children?
No.
Okay.
None.
Ask most people with kids
Do you
which
want
of their kids is the favorite.
Yeah.
Fair point. Fair point.
Like we definitely have some ones we don't like, but there's a lot that.
Let's just say we like more songs than we don't like.
Okay, that's
The
a
truth
plus.
is, I think if we don't fancy a song too much or we're not feeling it, we just don't play live.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
we've got enough now to like we're actually spoiled for choice
Mm.
because I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy performing every
All
single
of
We can.
song.
It's
All
like
of them.
it's like a different theme. The whole set that we're playing now. Actually, it's got the dark. It's
Yeah.
like enough of the dark to sort of carry it.
So this is
That's
album
quite
number
cool.
10 for us.
Yes.
So if we do one song of each album, that's like
Wow,
almost
yeah.
an hour set.
Yes.
So in most gigs, you're looking an hour, maybe an hour and 15.
Yeah.
If we're doing a private.
So you guys are not
a club
doing
show.
Taylor Swift style concerts with 3.5 hours.
Not yet. We're just waiting for the
The
buses.
money's right.
We're just
And the
waiting for the
sequence.
buses and the stadiums and that. And we're waiting for CeeLo's rhinestone gear to come from the Taylor.
We did a 3-hour show, or almost a 3-hour show at Sonnage. Was it last year, or the year before? At High Friends and Places, and we left out a lot of songs.
And we still
We
left out
actually
a lot of
left
songs.
out. We still left out a lot of songs.
You know?
So it is possible, but it's totally up to the venue, and that's
Yeah.
where what our favorite songs to play can be dependent on, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes like playing something like Ooh La La, this big bombastic song in a restaurant is just like not
bit
as
too much.
enjoyable as
Mm.
doing like say something like Rabbit Hole Unplugged or something, you know.
Yeah.
And for me, it changes all the time, like what my favorite song is.
Mm.
Obviously, a lot of it has to do with familiarity and how, like anything new is like, it's so cool.
Yeah.
There's no like old song where I'm like, oh, this is my favorite Precious.
And we will play it at every single show.
Mine. Like there's nothing really like that, but
To me, it's never ever.
okay, there we go.
There we go. Someone's got it. There we go. That's good.
He's a decisive man, Jonathan.
In every group of people, there's one black and white person.
No,
Yeah,
no,
so-
no.
Yeah.
He's very monochrome, Jonathan.
COVID was a awful and very interesting time for everybody.
That was fun, eh?
You guys did. I went down a rabbit hole.
Thanks.
It's a good song. But I kind of went onto YouTube and searched WONDERboom, and then dived in to you guys singing in a bath. One of you almost got your junk out on TV. The
Jonah.
towel
Yeah.
was very strategically
Jonah is
placed.
very
See, it
very-
works.
It does work, eh? It seems to
Have
attract
you seen Lenny Kravitz's new
views.
video?
Uh-uh.
Anyway, same vibe. His song's cucked, but he's got his willy out and millions.
So you're saying Lenny Kravitz is copying you guys, then? Eh? So the COVID the COVID sessions, I think you guys called it, or something
Corona
like that.
sessions.
Corona sessions. Was
We're
that
trying to get a beer sponsorship.
No, we couldn't get the. We forgot to send the email.
Yeah, it was still in the
Sorry, go on.
draft box.
So was that just a stop yourself from crawling up the walls kind of thing? Was it just a what, stuff it, we are going to carry on producing content and music and entertaining people?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
had
think
to do something.
we have a knack for having fun in cuck situations and turning something positive out of something that could potentially be,
We were always making them for ourselves. Let's share it with the
Yeah.
It was such a. Everybody reacted and responded differently during that period, but for us, we kind of like we what do you call it? We huddled and we're like, okay, look, how are we gonna make the most out of this, and what are the opportunities? We've always been sort of positive thinkers in that way, and I suppose creative, and also like not taking ourselves seriously. Like some of those are rather dodge, but I think people loved it. They loved the endearing factor, the vulnerability, in what we're doing. What didn't have to be overproduced. In fact, that was the whole point. It was a good test for us as well to see how strong the songs are without the production of having, you know, all of your instruments, your preferred instruments, you know, or a recording or whatever, and then just stripping it down to whatever we could play.
Like a nice acoustic.
Yeah.
I also thought it was good for the world to see artists super raw.
Yes.
Instead of all the production, and to see how fucking poor and cuck their houses are. Do you know what I mean? So not everyone thinks like they're living in luxury, man. Luxury.
I was like, why is that really a tiny
What?
life?
Is that fucking Hoosier's flat in Ireland? Jeez, shame poor lad, man.
Yeah, I think it was. I think except for maybe the ultra rich, it was the great equalizer.
100%, 100%. Which I honestly like. I mean, I find quite lekker.
But then we're over it now. Like
can we move on from that?
Back into a studio, back into.
And look, it
seeing
helped us come from a dark place and write some darkness
We
into
don't
our,
wanna talk
into our
about
songs
it.
on the album. But we've
Oh, it's cool. I think we definitely learned a lot from that period.
Yeah.
And we carry it through. You know, I think we all caught a wake up with COVID about
Got better at video editing.
better at video editing for sure.
Improved our skills.
Yeah, improved our technical skills. Like the complacency of, you know, being comfortable or being in a rut or being, you know, doing the same thing over and over for years. It kind of created like a bit of a reassessment. Like, what are you actually offering the audience when you perform? You know, how's your delivery? How's that, you know? And then vice versa, the audience going, I need live music now. I need to be in front of a stage and I need to rock out.
and I need to be with other people in an environment where I'm getting energy fed back to me because this clinical staring at a fucking screen is nuts.
Yeah.
And it feels like that after a while for me. It felt
People like to party, man.
like isolation or what do they call it when you go
Lockdown.
down in jail,
Oh,
like in the hole, you know. Again, so
Solitary confinement.
solitary confinement.
So solitary confinement, all that
Next
shit.
album.
It was like it was just
Good name.
it was just like it was too, for me personally, like a control thing and everything.
Yeah.
The whole thing felt wrong to me. The whole thing felt wrong.
Anyway, I got COVID and nearly died.
Oh, jeez.
But now we're COVID experts, all of us. We've had it so many
Yeah,
times.
you were
eh?
the first.
I still don't.
He was the first.
I think the first version was a bit rough, and then after that, like, you know, version 2, 3, 4, 5, 17, 22, you know, all the different whatever's, kind of got less and
People
less.
still died though.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people we know.
Always have to
A
remind
lot of
myself.
people we know.
Yeah.
And I got it 3 times.
Hey, thank goodness for that vaccine.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I just needed to update.
Yes.
Update, that was all.
The whole music scene and whatnot, and fame in general. How do you guys deal with that, or how do you guys feel about being known and having, I think, just so much of yourselves put out there in your music? Because it's great. Because I mean, I messaged my 4 best mates. Every single one of them was like so stoked. They love you guys. You guys play a role, you know, a massive role in all of their lives. You know, with that, I used this in the last podcast. When I said with great power comes great responsibility. How do you guys sort of track with that and deal with that kind of thing?
We abuse our power.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
very irresponsible.
It's self-serving.
But yeah, I don't know. I suppose we're also growing older and mature and have had to live with our choices and build our lives around that. You know, each guy's got his own story and his own world that he's created. And like the wild, carefree youth that I was, although I'm still like that in spirit, I've grown, I've evolved. So I don't know if focus of what we're doing with WONDERboom for me has been really honed in, and I'm a little bit more appreciative than I was back then. So for me, the main focus is the music and the performance of it, and we are being entrusted with people's souls, you know, and in a live gig situation, you want to take them, and you have that responsibility to like do it carefully and beautifully and wonderfully, and you know, otherwise they don't come back to your gigs.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's also respect for the music that you're making. Go out there and deliver it.
You just let CeeLo deal with it, and then
like the respect for what you're doing, you know, the people who have come to see you.
I think there's so much noise out there.
I don't think in terms of like
we
noise.
the people.
I don't think in terms of noise and hype.
Yeah.
Or fame or whatever you want to call it. Honestly, there maybe in the past one of us kind of bought into that wholeheartedly, but he's not with us anymore. And then I think I could say for myself, and I think for all of us, we don't. I mean, it's cool to be appreciated, 100%, but we don't buy into that. I certainly don't buy into the rock star thing.
Yeah.
At all. I'm like, cool, thank you. Like if I was Mother Teresa or even a paramedic or doing something really amazing, I'd be like, wow. But I don't buy the thing of musicians being godlike or that shit.
Well, can you tell your face about that?
You know what I mean? I don't.
He's like, is this rock star with tattoos and piercings, and I'm not, you know.
But I don't.
Mother Teresa.
I don't buy that. You know, I don't buy if you because you're a musician, like wow, than everyone else. Like, so what? You know?
Yeah.
So what? Then what? Is you cuck now because or are you a musician or not, or what? You know?
That's not. That's not what defines me. That's not what makes me better than other people.
What does make you better than other people? That's
yeah, the rock star.
Are you a better people? That other thing. Are you a better people?
Yeah. No, I think that's. But I think for musicians, I think in general, if you're getting your music across, your message across, people are enjoying it, then surely that's the goal.
The music first and foremost is music, and everything else in that thing then it's cool. If it comes with it, then fun. But
getting a good response when you play.
Yes.
That's the thing. The energy that we get from the crowd. That's something that can be really cool. Or you play in a bad situation and it's not there, like the corporate when no one cares. Then you play this like hollow show with very expensive equipment. So you got great sound and absolutely no energy.
You got the great sound at the corporate.
You guys are better sound guys if you haven't.
But getting down with our fans. That's what we do. Yeah,
that's fantastic. Your guys' favorite show is there a show that you played that you guys can look back at and just go, yes, this was
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses. There we go.
That show. That's for me.
Yeah, Jonathan prefers stadiums to anything.
Yeah. Oh, it's more suitable.
For his style. For his cut-out drum style. Stadiums are
hard hits. Stadiums are nice.
My ears don't fucking ring standing next to cymbals in stadiums, so that's a bonus.
Yes.
So I prefer stadium.
But there's been a few. You know, in our career, my favorite lineup was ever that we were on was Coke Fest 2008. Just because of the bands, it was like they were 36 to Mars, like really
Prime Circle,
solid.
Crash Car Burn.
Come on. Yeah, okay. Yeah, solid lineup.
Fantastic. Yeah, I went to a couple of the Coke Fest shows over the years. There were a few of them, weren't there? Yeah.
One year Metallica came out, I think.
Apparently.
Funny enough, Guns N' Roses was supposed to come for Coke Fest one year in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When Axl was still having at the moment.
It happens. People, I suppose people have Oasis.
Yeah.
So I stood on top of a car in the parking lot and listened to Oasis in Joburg Like I couldn't go to the show. I didn't have the
Oh,
money.
no.
I didn't have the money
Oh,
to
wow.
go, and I was working like a ride share type job, and I picked someone up from the concert, and Oasis played, and I stood on top of my car and just listened.
Oh, wow.
It was spectacular. That was a good
I
show.
enjoyed it. Eh?
Cool.
A lot of people
Make me
complained.
feel bad about where I was standing.
Ah, you know, it happens. In the golden circle, yeah.
My favorite,
Mm.
because it changes all the time, but the first thought that comes to mind is our secret performance at the NASCAR bar at Strab.
Strab. Yeah.
When we were the
Un-
secret.
Non-advertised.
Yeah, so we
Playing
were the
on
secret
tables.
band, and it was so wild. Like, we were set up and ready to go, and the last band went, finished on the main stage, and then people were like making their way up, and you could see the surprised look on their faces, and it was just like filling up more and more and more, and we had to perform on a very slim sort of stage setup. I had to stand on one of these round tables, with the benches around.
Yeah.
In the corner of the deck, so there's like bush and then like a big drop, huge drop to the beach. And apparently the place was rocking so hard that the people that were underneath
It's on still.
of the floor saw the ceiling like bending like this. And then I actually fell over backwards during one of the songs, and I almost fell off this
Off the side.
off this ledge, off this. And anyway, but not because I fell, but because it was such a magic moment. Like, I think whether we're in a stadium or we're in like a heavy intimate scenario like that, the amount of gigs and the amount of years we've been gigging together, we've managed to find magic in all of these moments, so the funniest gig that we've done is when we played to absolutely nobody at a festival.
Okay.
Not even, it was so cold that the sound engineer wasn't even behind the desk. And we were paid in full for it. And there's a whole backstory to it. Martin was a champ as usual. He got the money out of the promoter.
When was that?
It was before your time.
Was
That was
in
out
a
of
place
Secunda.
in
Secunda,
Germany,
Yeah. So the promoter looked like MacGyver, and it was his first festival, and there was
And a
one.
mullet and a brown patchwork leather
Yeah,
jacket.
that was cool. And Patricia Lewis, Clive Bruce, it was like kind of like a country pop kind of vibe was happening right before us, and then we were on late, and by the time we came on, it was so cold. It was ridiculously cold. Everybody had fucked off, and so he tunes the promoter. Okay, show me the money, and the guy is like opens his pocket of his jacket and he zips it up again. And Martin's like, no, show me the money. Put it in my hand. Put it in my hand. So he's like, okay, wait here. And he goes to the cashiers and gets all the cash. And puts cash, wasn't cash in Martin's hand. And he says, okay, listen, I know there's nobody out there, but I want you to play like there's 10,000 people.
Why?
And so we did. And I think that was like one of the very first gigs that like really taught us to just
Humbling.
it was
Just
humbling.
take the money and
Just
run.
take the money and play.
There's no one.
No, that was one of those humbling gigs where you're still getting paid and everything's still like legit, but it's not at all legit. Like when you look over and there's blades of grass going, it's too loud.
Jeez, okay. That's the stuff you don't hear about. The band life. Yeah, I've slept under a couple of stages at like -1 degrees and
Yes.
whatever, and
Hardcore.
like looking after equipment and
Oh my
yeah,
God.
like that kind of stuff. It's
So useful at that time of the night.
We were at a
Your tits
festival
off
in
looking
Ermelo once, not too long ago.
Son
The
engineer
four of us in a tent together below freezing, curling up to each other. Phil Silo shaking from crying from freezing.
Man tears.
Jonathan, I cuddled up to his hairy
No.
back. I was like, oh, Jonathan, your fur.
Oh,
It was so
man.
cold. It was so cold. We were unamused.
Yeah.
Unamused, actually, with the sense of humor. Charles ran out.
From 0 to 0 degrees.
Yeah. They just come off stage with Mendoza, like a ripping performance.
Yeah.
And 2 hours later, she's
You guys had that night. I was there. It was cold.
But you were
Yeah,
having a good time.
I was warm.
Super
From
liquid.
the
Warm.
inside.
Put my straight with my clothes, probably my shoes on as well.
Yeah.
And you guys had this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there. So
Not
wasn't
even
so
my
bad.
dogs can help me.
So you guys have a very unique style. It's I battle to quantify it.
We do too.
It's WONDERboom.
It's
Yeah.
eclectic.
Yeah. So somewhere along the line, monkey punk was like it was.
That's Boo's.
That's Boo's
That's
thing,
Boo's
yeah.
description.
That's
We were
Yeah.
staying with Boo, and Sito was talking about Boo being the best monkey punk band in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, they are.
Yeah.
He said you create a genre. That's one way of doing it.
Yeah.
No, create your own genre and just
That's
live
not
inside
us.
it.
That's not us, but
We created Rock Quieto.
Rock quite a
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. One of them.
Righto.
Okay, so to create your unique sort of feel, like I mean, you guys must have influences. Who are the bands that you listen to or that you will?
We sound like we do because the influences are all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think that's if you listen to WONDERboom's discography, you'll realize quickly that each song is different to its own. Yes, it's under the rock umbrella, but as diverse as we are as individuals in the band and in our tastes, that comes through in the songwriting. Yes, you can hear the influences in those songs. Like there might be something like, "Hey, this is reminding me of Shaggy."
Shaggy.
Don't ask me which song that is, but it's hypothetically.
From Scooby-Doo.
No. Anyways, I'm facetiously digressing. But yeah, I think I want to say benefit. I suppose the upper hand we've always had is that we've never been committed to one specific rock subgenre.
Yeah.
You know, like grunge or funk or whatever. We dabble in these different, and it's not like a conscious thing like, oh, we must be different. It's just where the songs are written and how they're written.
We definitely, I think, Believer is in like the song is king kind of thing. Like whatever the song needs, you let it go there, you know.
We found the middle of the road and just avoid it. And
Go shot left.
stay. Keep it inside, but don't
Road less
don't
traveled.
go there.
Yeah, that little dirt road next to the highway.
Yeah.
That kind of, yeah.
The Comrades Marathon route. It's much faster just down the end.
Hard mode.
I don't want to be a dick, but we need to more or less get out of
Wrap
here
it
in
up.
about 10 minutes.
100%. Cool. If you guys were to give any advice to new artists, people trying to break into the music industry, what would you give?
Danny used to say, "Don't."
Have a job and get a job.
Get a job.
Yeah, no. Listen. In all seriousness,
Create.
I would agree with that. I would say, don't. And I don't think people do this anymore. So these days, anyway, it's like, okay, I'm quitting everything. I'm going to become a musician.
Guitar.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, everybody understands that it's a side thing.
Yeah.
Don't put pressure on music to create finance or whatever in your life. It's like something that's a bonus when it happens.
Yeah.
You don't want this rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah, it's traveling.
We can barely handle it. You
Yeah.
can't handle
Yeah, so my advice would be just don't put financial pressure on your music and go crazy.
it. But
man.
create.
Create.
You must
Stop.
make.
Yes, Johnny.
You must make. So find a way to make it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, you don't think you can go around
I can't
Go
tell you
around
what to make.
in circles, you know, like a band can rehearse the same 20 cover versions night after night, 3 nights a week,
Yeah.
going around in circles in a band situation, like whatever
Well,
thing
hey,
is set
how
to
often do you
comes
guys
and
practice?
going nowhere, you know.
Yeah.
But if you're creating and following what you want to do, the one thing I would say to anyone as well is who wants to start it is do your thing.
Yeah.
Do your thing. There's already a Metallica, there's already a Chili Peppers, there's already a Taylor Swift, there's already a Shaggy.
We can keep naming there's
You're on a time limit. You're on a time limit.
So just do your thing. Just do your thing and like whatever. If it's a postmodern thing and you're ripping off something else, put a twist in it. You know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Your guys' plans for the rest of 2024, and where can we find you? So we'll wrap up with this last sort of concatenated question.
We've got some gigs coming up. Follow the link.
When is this going to come out?
Next
on Facebook.
Not this next week, Wednesday. The Wednesday after.
Okay, cool. So we're going to Namibia on the 10th of May.
Ooh, nice.
Camp Rock Festival.
Mozambique.
We're doing Strab in Mozambique, which is my little segue, my favorite gig story.
Very nice. Very smooth. Very smooth.
And we're just going to carry on touring the album.
Check us out on Facebook. That's where you'll get Facebook, Instagram. That's where we put all our
Sonage on. Oh yes, TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Follow us on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, that's where I saw you guys. That's how I knew you were in Cape Town.
Oh wow,
That's what
Yeah.
this is all about.
cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Please
That's
help us embark on this TikTok journey. Let's do it together
Absolutely.
and have fun. What the hell?
TikTok.
It's a whole different world. TikTok
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very
Was
interesting.
up in the morning feeling like P Diddy.
I'm excited to
He's a
find
bad
out.
boy for life. He told us.
Yeah, no, listen. That's not referencing.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so very much
Thank you.
for coming out. I really appreciate it. You guys have made my day, at least.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
You made
So-
ours too.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And we will catch up again hopefully one day in the future. And
Can't wait.
yeah, that's it.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Thanks very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice, absolute pleasure.
And cut.
And cut. Yeah.